We use our sight every single waking moment, but have you ever really stopped to think about the journey behind it? How a single tiny particle of light becomes the entire world you see around you? It's one of the most incredible processes in all of biology, and we're about to break down exactly how it works. So, how does it actually happen? How does your eye take something as abstract as light and transform it into the vivid, colorful, moving picture that you perceive as reality? Well, that is the central mystery we are going to unravel right now.
To really get it, we're going to follow just one particle of light, a photon, on its remarkable journey. From the outside world, through all the intricate machinery of your eye, all the way to the exact moment it becomes a part of what you see.
Okay, so the very first challenge for our particle of light is really just getting inside. The eye needs a perfectly clear pathway, a window to the world. And, maintaining that clarity is a constant, active biological process. It sounds so simple, but think about it for a second. Most of our body is totally opaque. So for vision to even begin, the very front of the eye has to be engineered for perfect transparency. This whole journey starts at the cornea. So how does the cornea stay so clear? Honestly, it's an engineering marvel. Its fibers are arranged in this perfect lattice structure that stops light from scattering. It's avascular, which is a fancy way of saying it has absolutely no blood vessels that could block the view. It even actively pumps water out to maintain a very precise level of dehydration needed for clarity. And on top of all that, it's packed with special proteins called crystallines, which are perfectly soluble and don't get in the way of the light. And the cornea isn't the only clear structure. After passing through it, our light particle hits the lens, the eye's own auto-focusing mechanism. And just like the cornea, the lens is avascular, no blood vessels, and its fibers are packed in a perfectly orderly way. It's also got a powerful antioxidant system to prevent damage and special water channels to keep its structure and transparency just right. So, 2 hurdles cleared, our light particles in. So, our particle of light has made it through the eye's clear windows. Now comes the most critical part of the entire journey. This is the moment of magic, really. It's where physics meets biology, and light is transformed into the language of the brain, electricity. This critical conversion is called phototransduction, and it really is the true spark of sight. You see, everything up to this point was just about getting the light to its destination. This is the moment that light energy is converted into a neural signal the brain can actually understand. And this incredible conversion happens at the very back of your eye, in a layer of tissue called the retina. The retina is lined with millions and millions of highly specialized photoreceptor cells. And you've probably heard of them before. They're called rods and cones. Just let that number sink in for a second. In each one of your eyes, you have about 120 million rod cells. That is a staggering number of tiny biological sensors, all packed into the back of your eye, just waiting to catch a particle of light. So why so many? Well, the rods and cones have different jobs. Those 120 million rods are your low-light specialists. They are incredibly sensitive, and they give you your night vision. The 6 million cones, on the other hand, they handle the bright light. They're responsible for your ability to see sharp details, and crucially, all the colors of the rainbow. Okay, so our light particle has struck a rod or a cone and generated a tiny electrical signal. But that's just a simple on or off message. How does the brain turn billions of these simple signals into the rich, detailed visual senses we experience every single day? Well, the brain builds our perception up in layers. It starts with the most basic ability, the light sense, just being able to tell light from dark. From there, it builds a form sense, so we can make out shapes. Then it adds the contrast sense, so we can distinguish subtle shades and textures. And finally, it layers on the color sense, which is what brings the world to life.
And that final layer, color, works thanks to 3 types of cones, with each type tuned to either red, green, or blue light. The Young-Helmholtz theory explains that every single color you've ever seen is simply your brain blending the signals from these 3 primary color cones. You are literally painting your world with light. It's amazing.
Now, understanding this complex system isn't just a fascinating piece of science, it's also critical for our health. Because when any part of this delicate journey, from the cornea all the way to the brain, is disrupted, our ability to perceive the world is affected. Look at how these things connect. A simple vitamin A deficiency can delay your light sense, making it harder to adapt to the dark. Conditions like glaucoma and cataracts can decrease your contrast sense, making it really difficult to distinguish subtle shades. And simple refractive errors, what we correct with glasses, they directly impact your form sense, your ability to see sharp details. This whole journey shows us that the eye is an incredibly elegant system. It's this beautiful blend of physics, chemistry, and biology. But it also reveals that this exact same complexity is what makes it so fragile. Every waking second, your eyes perform this miracle, turning light into sight through millions and millions of calculations. It's an effortless process that grants us our entire visual world. So I guess the only question left is, with this incredible gift, what will you choose to see?